Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Ian McNaughton, filling in for Tony Wolak, who's currently interviewing for the Detroit Lions head coaching job. We're rooting for you, Tony. This is the Hockey Writers Grind Line, the Red Wings roundtable for the hockey writers. For the past 5 years, the Grind Line has been a weekly column for the hockey writers. Now we're coming to you live. We're excited for another opportunity to discuss the latest Red Wings news, rumors, and strategy with Hockeytown faithful. And before we dive in, let's meet our version of Chris Draper, Kirk Maltby, and Darren McCarty. First up, we have Devin Little. Devin, how's it going, buddy?
Going good. Good to see you. Got my ugly Christmas sweater on and my mug of hot cocoa. Let's go.
All right, I'm excited. I'm glad I'm not the only one wearing a Christmas sweater here. Also joining us tonight is Patrick. Patrick, how are you? And what's with the hat, by the way?
I'm great. Had to bypass the ugly Christmas sweater and just go with the hat, the ugly Christmas hat instead. Although due to fan complications, unfortunately, we will not be able to broadcast the hat in its entirety for the rest of the evening. So we do apologize for those technical difficulties.
That's a real shame. I'd like to see the hat the whole time. And joining us tonight as well is rookie Peter. Peter, how are you tonight?
Not doing too bad. Just hanging out at home with the wife. Not wearing a Christmas sweater. Just got the good old flannel on here. But everything's going all right.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad that you could join us tonight. This is Peter's first time, so no pressure. First,
you never forget your first time.
Yeah, exactly. We got a bunch of things we want to discuss tonight. First, we wanted to talk about Patrick Brown's 12 days of hockey miss post. Pat has just been on a grind for like the month of December at least. It's incredible. So, Pat, just give us a quick little tidbit on sort of all the posts you got so far, and maybe what's your favorite one that you've done so far?
Good question. So, fortunately, we write for an organization that made it relatively easy, but we're counting down days 12 through 1, 12 days of Christmas style. We're calling it the 12 days of hockey miss. I suppose I've done many of them, but have to give credit to Devin Little with a couple of assists. He did one the other day, and he's chipping in again on the coming days. So, Devin, I tipped the hat, but I don't have a brim, so you tip the elves. I would say, actually, honestly, the one I like them all, right? I'll actually go through them really quick. If you haven't read them, you should check them out. 12. We started off on a real high note. 12 years since the championship. 11, what a way to kick it off. 11 championships. 10 Hall of Famers on that 2001-2002 team, and it might be 11 when it's all said and done if Datsuk gets the nod. 9 Norris Trophy winners, although that's a bit misleading. I would say the Red Wings have won the Norris 9 times because Nick Lidstrom actually hogged most of those. 8 retired numbers. Devin, thanks for picking that one up. I loved it. It was awesome. Appreciate the break. My carpal tunnel, thank you as well. And then the latest one to run today, 7 Art Ross and 7 Selke Trophy winners. And when you look at just all the hardware that the team has, that the team's come away with over the years, and some of these awards that haven't even been given out. Spoiler alert for tomorrow: 6 President's Trophies that the Red Wings have won, and that award has only been given out really since the early '80s. And you figure they've won it 3 more times than any other team out there. They've made it really easy on me to come up with numbers, and not take the easy out like 9 Gordie Howe, something like that. You got to give them the nod, but tried to get a little bit more in depth with what they've done. In terms of favorites, they're all like they say after they win a championship. They're like your kids. You love them all differently. But I'd actually say that I thought just the sheer fact that they had 10 Hall of Famers on that 2002 championship team, and again, possibly 11 if Datsuk gets the nod once he's eligible. awesome to see. That counts, of course, Coach Scotty Bowman, who at that time was already like a 40-year Hall of Famer, if I'm not mistaken, or something to that effect. So really interesting stuff. I've enjoyed writing them. I myself have learned quite a bit, even that I didn't realize I didn't know. And I appreciate you asking, Ian. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Devin, I know you did number 8, which I believe came out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, you did number 8, so you probably like the one that you did. But is there a favorite of yours that you enjoy the most so far?
I like all the ones that I didn't have to work on. Come on now. But no, honestly, I'm going to go with Pat's answer too. It's just the sheer amount of talent that was on that 2002 roster to be quantified by 10, possibly 11. We all know how stacked that team was, but to throw a number on it really just shows that team was ridiculous. And the other one I'm going to throw out is the Norris Trophy one. And the reason why I like that one too is just kind of like as Pat alluded to. It just shows how dominant of a defender Nick Lidstrom was. And honestly, he could have won 1, 2, 3 more if the dice would have came out a little bit differently. He was without a doubt in my mind the best defender to ever play the game.
Interesting. Peter, do you have a favorite that you've read so far?
I'm gonna. I hate to be the copycat and go with everybody's answer, but I mean it's got to be the 10 Hall of Famers. I mean, I remember that summer back in what was it, 2001, 2002. You know, the July free agent signings. I remember waking up and my dad's like, you know, we got Robitaille, and it's like, oh my God. And then it's like, we got Hall. Oh my God. We got Hasek. Oh my God. And it's like, it was just like my head was exploding. It's like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, and then you see all of them on the ice together, and it's like, at any given point, I mean, it could have been Yzerman, Fedorov, Shanny, or Hall, or Robitaille, or, you know, it was just a mind blow to see that team. But then when they did go down 2-0 against Vancouver in that first round, I was in 6th grade and I cried because I thought we were gonna lose. but it worked. It worked out. It worked out.
I got to plug everybody's old-time favorite Red Wings writer, Nick Katsanika, on the championship video for that year, was talking about how Red Wings were freaking out and throwing Hasek jerseys on the ice after Game 2 when they went down 2-0 against Vancouver. So, I also remember when they dealt for Hasek, and I was super excited for about 10 seconds before I realized, and I point to this jersey over my shoulder here, what's going to happen to Ozzy? And obviously it worked out in the end. In fact, Ozzy kind of played the hero in that 2008 championship run, but good stuff.
Yeah, I was also going to say the 10 Hall of Famers, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm actually going to say the dozen years, because we're on a journey as a Red Wings fan. We're on a journey right now to our next cup, because it's been a long 12 years. It's been a long, especially last year, just watching this team and how awful it was. But, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And when Red Wings win the next cup, it's going to be glorious. We're all going to be celebrating in our own different ways. That's what I love as a fan. It's just the process, the, taking steps to get to there. The 2002 team is kind of like the opposite of that, where they just loaded up and added everybody. But the next one, where we're in the salary cap era, it's arguably never been tougher to win a Stanley Cup than it is right now. That's what's going to make this next one a great feeling of winning the Stanley Cup. I appreciate all your guys' answers, and again, shout out to Pat for the amazing work. Pat and Devin for the amazing work.
Hey, Ian.
Yeah.
Can I ask the group? I want to ask the group one question. Does anybody remember? Since Peter brought it up, does anybody remember the turning point in that Vancouver series in Game 3, and who was responsible for it?
Nick Lidstrom scored from center ice. Here. Nick Lidstrom scored from center ice on Dan Cloutier, and oh man, it was. I lost it.
Well done.
Not to drop any spoilers, but I've got a certain article coming out in this series in a couple of days that covers that exact moment. So,
Nice.
Nice.
Just-
Segue.
In the article I just put out about the toughest Red Wings, I mentioned how Chris Chelios did that victory lap in Vancouver because if you guys remember, he had such a like bitter rivalry with Todd Bertuzzi during that series. I can't remember what Bertuzzi's line was called, but he did his victory lap in Vancouver in Game 6 and got booed and was giving it to the crowd, and it was glorious.
That's great.
I've been watching some of that, like just again feeling success. I was watching some of that over the pandemic, and I think my father, who was living in Vancouver at the time, was like, "Yeah, Kluche was never the same after that, just in his career, never really the same." Which is kind of too bad from that perspective, but it is what it is. It happens, and the Red Wings won the cup, so.
And then,
oh well.
And can I piggyback off of something that you said just a little bit ago, Ian? So you had said that we're on a journey, right? And I really kind of I think that that's a good way to look at it. Especially people in our generation have been kind of spoiled. We've seen 4 Stanley Cups, some less, some but whatever. Generally speaking, we've seen 4 Stanley Cups in a matter of 10 years. That's unheard of. And then even when we weren't winning cups, they were winning trophies, or they were a cup contender. Up until the playoff streak ended, they were never a bad team. So there are our parents, there are people, our grandparents that lived through the Dead Wings era, and that was kind of an unheard of. I couldn't even fathom the Red Wings not being a good team. So it's kind of, I would say it's humbling to now go through like this past season, and now even just the process, the journey that you said we're going through. It has been a long 12 years, but this it kind of puts everything into perspective. And I think when they do finally reach that pinnacle again, it's going to be that much sweeter.
It's been over 50 years since the Leafs won the cup, so 12 isn't that bad.
Yeah, at least we're not Toronto.
Hey-o.
I was going to say I love taking shots at the Leafs when I can. So let's go to the second topic on the agenda tonight. So our buddy Tony Wolak released an article today about Vegas and Detroit having a possible trade, this time involving Marc-Andre Fleury, Jonathan Bernier. Last week, our buddy Devin here, he released an article on potentially, trading for Max Pacioretty from the Vegas Golden Knights and trying to take advantage of their cap space or not taking advantage of their cap space. I just want to ask you, Devin, so for the people who haven't seen it, Devin, what do you think is the biggest reason why Detroit wouldn't make a move to go get someone like a Pacioretty or a Fleury or someone to help Vegas out potentially?
So, So to take kind of a step back, obviously we've talked about the Tampa Bay situation. I think we talked about it last week. Tony put out that article where he did the same sort of exercise with the Tampa Bay team. And the reason behind that is obviously Tampa Bay has cap issues, and the Red Wings are suited to help them out. Vegas has cap issues. The big thing that I guess we need to keep in mind is that not all cap issues are made the same. Tampa Bay has business to take care of beyond just dumping salary. The reason why they have to dump salary is because they still have to sign Anthony Cirelli and Eric Cernak, or however you pronounce that name. They still have to do some stuff in-house. That's why they need to clear space. Vegas just needs to get under the salary cap. They're done. They just have to get under the cap. And they only need to get rid of $1 million to do it. So they don't have to do anything super crazy. Just with kind of how their team's set up, salary cap wise, they're probably gonna have to do something a bit bigger. And I will commend Tony. I think that if any player would go to the Red Wings, it would be Marc-Andre Fleury. And then I would think that they would then take Marc-Andre Fleury and flip him to another team. I just don't see Fleury hanging out in Detroit for a month. I just can't see that happening. But when I talked to Ben Fisher over at the Golden Knights team, he mentioned that Pacioretty would not be just a typical salary dump. And in the article, I kind of mentioned that adding Pacioretty kind of walks the line between doing another team a favor and genuinely making your team better. Typically speaking, when it comes to a salary cap dump, you're taking on a burden and you're getting a draft pick as like compensation for it. You're not legitimately making your team better. Pacioretty would be our top line left wing if he were to come over. He had 32 goals and 66 points. He was a possession monster. I mean, that whole team was a possession monster last year. He would knock Tyler Bertuzzi down to the second line, theoretically. So I don't think that you're just going to take on $7 million and they're also going to give you a first-round pick. So the reason why I say the Red Wings aren't suited to help out Vegas is that the kind of deal that Vegas wants to do doesn't necessarily align with what the Red Wings want to do. The Red Wings want to collect assets, not send them out, unless they absolutely have to. And in, I think, any sort of Vegas deal, they would have to send something out. I think with the Marc-Andre Fleury deal that Tony talked about, Yzerman sent, or Tony, I guess, Tony sent Joe Hicketts and a fourth-round pick or something like that. And that's, it's not a huge price to pay. Oh, no, Jonathan Bernier, that's what it was. It's not a huge price to pay, but it's something, I think you'd rather see the Red Wings just get a pick for taking on a bad contract like they did with Mark Stahl.
The other question I wanted to ask, and Devin, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Who do we think would be more beneficial to Detroit if there was a possible deal made? Would it be either Max Pacioretty or Marc-Andre Fleury? Pat, I'll ask you first. Who do you think is more beneficial to the team, Patches or Fleury?
It's like you read my mind on a hot take and set me up for it perfectly. Because, as we're all aware, sad news, legitimately sad news, Hank Lundqvist obviously had to step aside this season due to health reasons, and we're all really upset about that, like really upset. I've got I don't have a jersey, but I got his jersey, if you will. But all of a sudden, it seems like Washington may be in the need for a goaltender. So, riddle me this. What if the Wings get both Patches and Fleury? Now, I still have to do a little bit of this math. I don't have it as well thought out as the Ty Conklin division, right? But they get both Pacioretty and Fleury. Obviously, Vegas needs a goalie, so I think Bernier still goes to Vegas. But now the Red Wings have taken a lot off the books for Vegas. They may retain some salary. And then, Devin, you led into it. They flipped Fleury to Washington to bring more assets in to get those draft picks. I think they could get a first-round draft pick, and I don't think Washington's in a position where they can do that direct deal because of cap space or something to that effect, until it would be worked out how much Vegas is retaining. So, both is the answer to the question, Ian, and I can't believe you just set me up for that. That was amazing.
It
somewhere
sounds
Tony is sobbing right now, and he doesn't know why.
Pat, it sounds like you want your cake and you want to eat it too. That's what it sounds like to me. Peter, who do you both Fleury and Pacioretty, or who do you think one's more beneficial to the team than the other?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're looking in terms of beneficial. I mean, Fleury's 36, Bernier's 32. How much does Fleury have left in the tank? I mean, I don't know. I mean, his game could regress in the next 2 years to, say how we saw Jimmy Howard, and then we're in another hole just like that. Pacioretty, do I even want Pacioretty on the team? I mean, maybe, but is he going to make us just good enough to bring us into mediocrity in the middle of the pack of the league, and then all of a sudden we're not getting primo draft picks and we're getting You know what I mean? 12th, 13th, 14th. You know, it's like if we're gonna be bad, I kind of want to be bad. You know, I want to.
Yeah.
I'm fully invested in the Iser plan. Build through the draft. I was saying blow the team up 6 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Pacioretty's 31, so he's not like, you know, some prime age kid that could come in and take the team by storm. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I don't really want either of them, to be honest.
I think we could get some value out of Fleury by flipping him. I really do.
I was gonna say I love that we're hitting both ends of the pendulum, where Pat wants both of them and Peter doesn't want either of them. That goes to show where we're at right now in Hockey Town. Final question on this. Yes, go for it, Devin. Go for it.
2 things. 1, Patrick, I think you need to do one of these GM articles like Tony and just go wild with it. And then 2, so after reading Tony's article, and then I read an article from the Carolina team, I think it was today or yesterday, and they literally name dropped Marc-Andre Fleury as a goalie that they would be interested in picking up, and the gears kind of started turning. All right, sure, pick up Marc-Andre Fleury, but then flip him to them and pick up, you know, a draft asset. I would target Jake Bean for sure, but then also maybe bring back our buddy Peter Mrazek to fill in the interim. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. That'd be nice to have. I with the Red Wings, I kind of like we're actually all right in goaltending. We're not great, but I'd say we're like middle of the pack tandem with Price and Bernier. I'm not going to go too much into the goaltending. Pacioretty, again, I'm kind of with you, Peter. We don't really need him. We don't need the excess scoring. And we don't need a $7 million cap hit on the team right now. It's just not worth it. That being said, I will ask you guys, if the Red Wings do acquire Pacioretty, are they a playoff team? Pat, I'll start with you. If the Red Wings acquire Pacioretty, are they a playoff team?
Well, we all know I already think they're a playoff team. So of course, if they acquire Pacioretty, they're a playoff team. And I do have to say, before you go to the next comment,
sure.
If they get Pacioretty and Tyler Bertuzzi gets knocked down to the second line, we are going to have a lot of upset commenters on the Grind Line articles, because my goodness, did they take exception to that this past week. But I digress.
I
digress.
I was going to say this is a Tyler Bertuzzi Stan YouTube account here. Peter, if we acquire Pacioretty, do you think the Red Wings are a playoff team right now?
No. I mean, if you trust Dom Luszczyszyn's model, I mean, even with all the guys that we've signed, Merrill, Stetcher, I mean, you guys know everybody that we signed. If you trust Dom Luszczyszyn's model, we still only earned 6 more wins per season from last season. You know, I mean, granted, if Mantha stays healthy, if DeKaiser stays healthy, you know, we might get 12 more wins than last year. But no, I mean, I don't think we're a playoff team as we sit right now. And even if we had Pacioretty, I don't think we're a playoff team.
Devin, the Red Wings a playoff team if they acquire Pacioretty?
So, of course, it depends on what would go back to Vegas. If Vegas is trading Pacioretty, they want to get that same production as Pacioretty had, but at a cheaper cap hit. And the Red Wings aren't going to give them that. So, again, to kind of go along with what we've been kind of saying here, or at least what Pat's been saying, the Red Wings could sneak in if everything aligns right, and adding Pacioretty would make that just a little bit more likely. But A, I don't think they're going to get Pacioretty, and B, I just don't think they're going to be a playoff team. And personally, I don't want them to be a playoff team. I want them to draft in the top 3.
Thank you. Yes.
Because that'll ever happen. We have the worst record. We have the best chances, and we'll never get top 3 thanks to Uncle Gary, no matter what.
Yeah.
So
I'll still take 4. I'll still take 4.
Yeah.
I don't want to end the last show before Christmas with draft talk. We're going to skip that. We're going to skip that. No draft talk on the YouTube show.
One of these days, we just need to go off on the draft process.
Next on the agenda, I want to discuss the World Juniors, because the World Juniors start, I think it's a week from now. I don't know what day of the week it is. It's the World Juniors that are next week in Edmonton, Alberta. We have, is it 7 Red Wing prospects that are potentially playing in this tournament, COVID allowing them.
Should have been 9.
Should have been 9. Who are some players in teams that we're looking out for, and that fans should look out for that are in the Red Wing system? Pat, I'll start with you. Fan, who should fans be paying attention to?
Well, I feel like probably just like everybody. Well, first of all, we own like half of Team Sweden. 5 prospects on Sweden. I'm probably like everybody else really excited to see Lucas Raymond go. Really see what he can do, and he should have a pretty good tournament, and that's who I'm going to be looking for. God, who are the others? Niederbach, Soderblom, is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Johansson, Berglund, just on Team Sweden alone. You've got Jan. I don't know how to pronounce half these names, and I feel like I should, but Jan Bednar, who has had a disappointing season so far, but him going for the Czech Republic. I'm going to keep my eyes on Lucas Raymond for what it's worth. I'm really excited to see the kid play. It's going to be really fun. These international tournaments are always so much fun, and we've been starving for hockey for so long. There's that anticipation even on top of that. One other thing to note, I mean, this is Team Canada's tournament to lose, right? 20 first-round draft picks on the team. And I don't know if you've seen Group A, but I don't see how they lose. I would not ever take the hot take that Team Austria is going to win, is what I'm saying.
Too hot for Patrick.
not that any of us are gambling men here, but don't put money on Austria to win Group A or the tournament. It's what Pat's saying. Peter, is there a player and or team that you're looking out for in these World Juniors?
Obviously looking out for Team Sweden. I want to see the Terror Twins, Raymond and Holtz, what they did. I believe it was 2 years ago with the U18, winning gold with Raymond, scoring that the hat trick, including the overtime winner. That was amazing to see. But just some players that I'm looking out for. I really want to see how Niederbach does centering Holtz and Raymond with Hendrickson going out, because that was Team Sweden's bread and butter, that first line. I mean, producing like 24 points in 10 games when they won gold. But I'm also looking out for Anton Lundell, who's having a phenomenal season he's playing in the Finnish Liga, but he's got 20 points in 17 games. And I'm also looking out for Trevor Zegras. Playing for the United States, when we drafted.
Oh, did he cut out?
Oh,
that's not good. He was. Oh, I was really looking forward to that. That's too bad. Hopefully Peter gets back with us. Devin, do you have a player or a team that you're looking out for in these World Juniors? Oh, Peter. Peter, you're back. All right.
Yeah.
Go back on, if you don't finish your thought on the Zegras.
Zegras, yeah. In 2019, I got super attached to Zegras as a prospect. Thought the Wings were going to take Zegras. We took Seider. I had a meltdown. Although I love Mo Seider now, you know what I mean. But looking out for Zegras, he hasn't been playing because he's committed to San Diego of the AHL. So he hasn't been playing much hockey. But when he was in the tournament, I believe it was last year or the year before, 9 assists in 5 games. He just does amazing things with the puck. So those are the guys that I'm going to be looking out for.
Nice. All right. Devin, any players or teams that you're looking out for in these World Juniors?
So, shameless plug, but I kind of am covering Team Czech Republic for the Hockey Writers. So I'm definitely going to be watching Team Czech Republic. And with that, to make it Red Wings focused, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on Jan Bednar, the goalie, one of the three goalies the team has right now. He, in some ways, Bednar kind of reminds me of Peter Mrazek, and it's not just because he's Czech. He has games where he steals the game, and then he has games where he completely blows the game. He's very up and down. I think the key for him is rounding that out, which, I mean, obviously that makes sense. But obviously, we've got, the Red Wings have some really good offensive prospects. They've got a boatload of defensive prospects. And the conversation always comes down to, but do they have that goalie of the future? Philip Larson had a lot of excitement, and that excitement's really dialed down over the last year. Keith Petrozelli, who I know I'm a big fan of. I know Peter's a big fan of him. I'll be keeping a close eye on him. But beyond that, yeah, it's kind of a battleground for who could be the Red Wings goal in the future. And I'd like to see Bednar really have a strong tournament to kind of, I guess, climb the ranks in the prospect pool.
Piggybacking onto that, if I may, we should be watching Jesper Walsta for Sweden, because depending on where the Red Wings draft this year in the draft, I mean, it's totally possible that they take Walsta. I mean, if we go 5, 6, 7, 8, in the draft pick, I mean, he's being touted as better than Askarov, more sound, solid game. So another guy to watch during the tournament for sure.
And he's Swedish.
It is ridiculous to suggest that the Red Wings. I was going to say, it's ridiculous to suggest the Red Wings will take a Swede.
In case you're new to the show, the Red Wings like Swedes. Obviously, I'm a Niederbach guy. He's my guy. I'm rooting for him regardless. Bednar is also a really intriguing prospect just in terms of the group that he's in. And he's going to face, I would think, a lot of shots in these World Juniors. Like, he's really going to get challenged for the next 2 weeks. He's going to have, I don't want to say it's a nightmare, but he's really going to get challenged these next 2 weeks. And I want to get to everyone's picks for the World Juniors. I want to know who is winning over who. Who's taking the gold and who's taking the silver. Pat, what's your World Juniors pick? What, give me a hot take, Pat. I need a hot take out of you.
You want a hot take, Canada over Austria, but I think more or less. I guess Austria over Canada would be the hot take, but
I was going to say lukewarm. Come on.
I am going to be a homer a little bit and take Canada over the U.S.
All right, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Peter, do you have who you got for winning the World Juniors? Gold medalist, silver medalist?
I'm gonna do. I know I'm gonna be wrong, but I'm saying Sweden. I'm saying Sweden's going over Canada. I'm gonna say Wallsted's gonna get hot, and I'm gonna say Niederbach is going to come out swinging, and the Terror Twins are gonna put up goals.
I like that. I like that hot take, Devin. I know you're covering the Czech Republic, but who do you have winning the World Juniors this year?
I want to, it's not my hot takes are not my forte, so I'll just not even go there. I'm gonna flip what Pete said. I'm gonna say Canada over Sweden. I think Sweden's just loaded, but Canada is even more loaded.
Canada is loaded.
Canada is very loaded. Like Pat said, this is Canada's
it's like
tournament
ridiculous.
It is insane. However, my hot take, I'm going to take the Americans over the Canadians in the gold medal game, and the U.S. will win the World Juniors. That's my hot take for the show.
You are a Canadian patriot.
We're going to talk about that in the next segment. But if you're liking this, if you're enjoying this, subscribe to the Hockey Writers YouTube channel. Like us. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Please be sure to share this video, and tell your friends. To quote Arrested Development, tell your friends. So tonight.
Shout out to real quick. Can I just make a shout out?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Germans. I saw that comment. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out. I unfortunately don't know the name, but whoever the German watching who is watching our show, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Now, it's the holidays. It's late December. Depending on where you are, there's snow. It's getting colder. There's a bit of frost in the air, boys. I want to know what your guys' favorite, most memorable hockey holiday memories. I'm going to start with you, Patrick. What's your favorite holiday hockey memory?
So it's funny. I first had something come to mind a while ago where my brother and I were at a game at the United Center where the Red Wings came back from a 2-goal deficit in the last minute. But I'm going to shelve that because I was reminded, and I actually still have the ticket right here, December 15th, 2010, Nick Lidstrom's first career hat trick, first and only career hat trick. And I happened to be at that game. And not only did I drive in from Chicago and go to that game, but my cousin is very good friends with a couple of the Red Wings. And I happened to be in the family waiting area after the game. That Osgood jersey behind me was signed that day when he came into the family waiting area, and she handed him a Sharpie and he signed it, which is why it's framed and in there. And my favorite story from then was I'm sitting around a table, no joke, Chris Osgood, my cousin Kathy, Johan Franzen, a couple of family members, and I get up to go grab a Miller Lite. And I walk into the cooler to grab a beer, and Johan Franzen, the mule, turns around and goes, "Hey, Pat, could you grab me a light?" I was like, yes. And I got the mule a beer, and it was really cool, and a really, really cool.
Yeah.
So
that's an awesome story. I'm glad you shared that, Pat. Peter, do you have a favorite holiday hockey memory that jumps to mind for you?
Yeah, kind of sentimental. My dad, when I grew up in Hamtramck, Michigan, which is that's like a small Polish. Well, it's more Bengali now, but small Polish city in Detroit. And we used to have a pool, like just a 3-foot above ground pool. And my dad used to take it down every winter, and he would make an ice skating rink on it, and that's where I learned how to skate. He would set up the goals out there and bring the sticks out, and that's how he taught us hockey at 3, 4, 5 years old. Just putting the little strap-on skates that strap onto your shoes, the cheapies. But he used to take us out there skating and playing hockey, and it was awesome. I think about that every winter.
I love that. That's a great story. I'm glad you shared that with us, Peter. Devin, favorite holiday hockey memory?
So, growing up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I've had the luxury of seeing a lot of Grand Rapids Griffins games. And like the Red Wings, they have a bit of a tradition of playing a game on New Year's Eve. And I've been lucky. There was a 5-year period of time where I went to, I think, 4 out of the 5. I used to do that on a fairly regular basis. I'm actually kind of sad that that won't be the case this year. But I don't have like a cool, I gave Johan Franzen a beer moment, but I just kind of, New Year's Eve, I always kind of think about being at Van Andel Arena, watching some real good hockey, and I've seen some real good games on that night, and nothing starts off New Year's Eve like a win. So,
That's a really good story as well. My story, I have a few holiday hockey memories, but I'm going to go with the 2009 World Juniors New Year's Eve game. So this is like 2008 going into 2009, I believe it is, with Canada-US. It was in Ottawa. I wasn't watching. I was with my family. We had a vacation at a ski resort here in BC, where I am located. And I was with my Canadian family. I'm originally from the States, so I usually root for the Americans, but I was with my Canadian family, and I was about, again, 8, 9 years old. really excited to see Canada play the U.S. in World Juniors. It's tradition in Canada, typically having Canada play the U.S. And the U.S. got out to a 3-0 lead against Canada in Ottawa. And I was ecstatic as an 8-year-old, kid from the States who was talking, bad mouthing. It was like, the U.S. is so good. The U.S. is so good. And then they proceeded to give up 4 straight goals. And I think they lost that game. I think it was 8-3 or 8-4 was the final score for Canada. The U.S. completely peaked and then collapsed. And then that was the World Juniors where Jordan Eberle had the terrific goal. If you haven't seen it, go take a look. Jordan Eberle against Russia in the World Juniors. And I remember just feeling deflated that night after watching that game, and kind of deflated for a few days because I was talking so much garbage, and I was making fun of my fans. Canada's not even good at hockey, and little did I know that I was.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, that I was not proud.
Canada's not even good at hockey.
I was not proud. Thankfully, I was. Thankfully,
your true American roots were showing.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, I was invited back next year for Thanksgiving and winter vacation. But it was not a bright moment in young Ian's life. So that's our favorite holiday hockey memories. Coming up this week, we got another Grindline article where we are predicting the next 5 Red Wing trophy winners, if that makes sense. So we have 5. There's 5 trophies. Pat, you can name them off the top. I can't name them off the top of my head, but there's 5 trophies. We have to predict the next Red Wing to win those trophies. It's coming out Monday. It's a really interesting discussion because it all depends on what your mindset and what your view is of the Red Wings and the rebuild, and how this season and many more are going to come. So look out for that Monday morning, first thing, because we're hardworking here on the Grindline, Grindline Riders. Boys, any other parting thoughts? Any other takeaways? Oh, Pat. Oh, yes, your Iowa State Cyclones.
Big 12 championship game tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, I believe, noon Eastern. Let's go Cyclones. Beat those Sooners.
I like it. Any other final words? Anything else to discuss?
It's our last show of the year, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas if you celebrate, Happy New Year. Let's all get excited for the 2020-21 season. All right. Thanks for having us too. I know I speak for everyone when we thoroughly enjoy doing this. So.
Yeah, it's first time, but it was fun. I was really excited to get the tap to do the show today. It's a lot of fun.
And again, it's been awesome. Thank you again, Peter, for taking the time to come out and just chat Red Wings with us. Again, if you like this or you like any other Hockey Writers content, please like this video. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. We got a bunch more content coming your way when the season starts. So thank you again, everybody. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful holidays, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Take it easy. Merry Christmas.